Hello, Barendipitous here once again for another Battle Pass Season 9 video to look at another reveal and another chapter. So let's just sort of get right into it, shall we? So, of course, as always, we have the Battle Pass website right here, brawlhalla.com/Battle Pass. Today's reveal was by the one and only AJ Moore, who, the CEO of Moose Wars. Great guy. And yeah, we'll just kind of watch this brief video here.
Hello, my name is AJ Moore. I'm the Moose Wars CEO and new Brawlhalla Partner going into 2024. And over the past couple of days, we have seen some amazing reveals from our partners, including some new maps, new skins, and some new loading frames. However, with my experience running Brawlhalla events, I know Brawlhalla players love to mess around with their opponents and even style on them from time to time. I think Brawlhalla's recognized that and wanted to add something fun into this battle pass for casual and pro players alike. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out some of the amazing taunts introduced in Brawlhalla's Battle Pass Season number 9.
I think it's funny, he calls them taunts instead of emotes. They're technically called emotes, but if you've been in the game, if you've been in the community long enough, you're used to calling them taunts. LOL Rip is hilarious, by the way. Oh my goodness. I remember in Season 1, with the yokai demon season, that the rip kind of thing where like you just like fall down and they have a flower and stuff. Like that was really funny. And then all of a sudden we have this like ha ha ha, and then fall into it and becoming a skeleton or something. LOL Rip is hilarious. Stick Horse is really funny considering the apocalypse, Horseman of the Apocalypse thing. Judgment is very interesting. Out of body experience, that's adorable. I love little squeaky noise. Soul Crackle, kind of like the emote from Apocalypse Mirage. Then Molten Stallion. Now that's cool. Wait, hold on. Did I see something there? Oh, okay. It's just a normal sidekick, just hanging out there. Okay, I see. That's really cool. That's awesome. I love
and on top of all those taunts being released, we have Sandstorm releasing. We got Pavelski announcing. And we also have Swerve releasing this amazing towards the end of the Battle Pass. All jokes aside, though, we have 6 amazing taunts being introduced by Brawlhalla in this Battle Pass, from the Judgment taunt to the Molten Stallion. And I cannot wait to see how you guys mess around with your opponents in the heat of battle. There's something for everyone within Brawlhalla's newest Battle Pass, Season number 9, coming soon. For more information, go to brawlhalla.com/Battle Pass.
Very nice. So yeah, so there we go. That is their reveal from AJ Moore. Fantastic. The censoring at the end, that's definitely a sort of a trademark for him of sorts. Hilarious. I love it. It's fantastic. But yeah, there we go. I also noticed the stick horse thing. It's very much modeled after the molten horse, which is interesting. So anyway, that's cool. In case you were curious, here, like once again, here are the rest of the reveals. Here, it looks like tomorrow Sandstorm's going to reveal something. So we'll see what that is. But now for the meat of the matter here, along with new emotes, is a new chapter. So today's chapter is Stupid Rules. I think they're both glowing because it thinks I haven't read them yet or something. But anyway, chapter 4, Stupid Rules. We're almost there. Just past these trees, cuts the ridge, and we'll be overlooking Fort Havershant in all its glory. By the way, a little bit of a pause here. Havershant. Once I saw that, like a light bulb went up in my head. There is one place in all of Brawlhalla lore, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe there's only one place in all of official Brawlhalla lore where we hear about Havershant, and that is in Sir Roland's lore. If you've read Sir Roland's lore, there's a quote in there where he's like, "How's my beard?" And then it says Sir Roland, Somerset Montgomery, Duke of the Three Isles, blah 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 blah. Just like title after title after title after title after title, and he just has like over a dozen, like a couple dozen of these titles or something. And one of the many titles that Lord Sir Roland, Somerset Montgomery, Duke of the Three Isles, whatever, blah blah blah, is Lord of Havershant. We don't know anything about Havershant. We just know that Sir Roland is from England, and Havershant is, I guess, maybe that's just like where he's from. Maybe that's his home or something, like his estate. I'm not sure. We don't know anything about Havershant, but we know that Sir Roland is Lord of Havershant in official canon. All right. So I saw that and I'm like, what? What does Sir Roland have to do with this? Anyway. Oh, so that's its name. I've been wondering why you avoided speaking its name. Yeah, so it looks like Fort Havershant is the name of this city fortress place they're going to, which makes me wonder, well, I'll get into theorizing later, but yeah. Fort Havershant. It's a bit of a mouthful. Stuffy, too. Oh, trust me, you don't know the half of it. Place used to have a nicer name before it was conquered. Now it's been personalized. I wonder what the nicer name was before. You may think my ego's bad, but the Emperor is much, much worse. Even makes me look humble. You're in for a real treat. Worse? He's worse? Gods of this hallowed realm, forgive me, for I've surely sinned in your holy dominion to be punished this way. Praying now? Save it for later. We haven't even gotten you an audience with the big oaf yet. You'll really need some divine intervention then. Get a good look at the place right up ahead. Yeah, we have a new background here. So cool. This is the grand city of the Emperor? It looks like... Yes, I know, it looks like a spaceship. It's heinous. A what? It's supposed to be modeled after a great King's Pass, but with a modern, edgy twist befitting an Emperor, Lord of all things. Supposedly. Yeah, King's Pass. That's interesting, because I think this is less about the actual stage King's Pass, but it's about the background of King's Pass. Actually, give me a second here. I want to show something. Because yeah, there is kind of like a gap a bit between the two. There is kind of like a gap between the two platforms, right? But I want to point out the actual image of. I want to point out the background of this. Okay, so look at this. All right, take a good look at this right here. This fortress in the background, and now let's look at this. Not perfect, obviously, but there's some similarities there. We have a big towering fortress. And then there's some kind of like bridge thing to connecting to a smaller tower. And that's exactly what we have here. And there's even trees growing from it, right? There's trees growing from King's Pass. And that's what it is. That's what we're dealing with here. So that's really cool. So I know some people don't like King's Pass as a stage, and that's fine. I get it. But, you know, sometimes you got to pay attention to the background, because that's the full setting of these places. Like this the backgrounds are what give these stages a sense of place, a sense of real location. And now we have a bit of a reference here to King's Pass. Very interesting. Anyway, no one dares question a great Emperor, Lord of all things, on architectural choices, even if the blueprints are half-baked delusions of a megalomaniac. That's probably a reference to how people don't like some people don't like King's Pass. At a stage, maybe. A little bit of a fun little jab there. But yeah, by the way, I don't think we know exactly whose stage this is, but King's Pass is one of the older stages, so it could be Sir Roland's place, essentially, right? Like, it's very possible. Anyway. Maintaining one's image is skin deep, but a lack of taste goes down to the bone. Not that you have much taste in the way of fashion, either. With the fort in sight, the Wanderer and I make haste. Despite the looming shadows of the perpetual storm on the horizon, the land itself was surprisingly vibrant and lush. Patches of flowers sprouted all along the rolling meadows. There is something remarkable about the flower that still blooms despite the sun being blotted out from the skies for 3/4 of the year. Its only sustenance poison from the skies. The realm had been cursed to live to a state of half-death, yet even the unconscious being still yearned to live, endured. Ruinous as things may be, there was still life. If not the rest of the world, then at least the flowers would. This is lovely. I love this thought, because I first came across this thought like I first really came across this thought when I saw a review for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and how like a calamity had ruined the land, and everything was like very like sad and melancholic, and there's this sense of loss, especially for like Link's friends, and time had passed, but the trees don't care, the grass doesn't care, the animals don't care, nature continues on, and so there's a sense of that as well here, and I think that's a very beautiful thought. We pass the meadows and approach an impossibly wide flight of dark stone stairs, clearly cleaved from the mountainside itself with skillful craftsmanship. Hope you don't mind a little exercise. They're designed to wear you out by the time you reach the top. So people asking for help can look the part too. That's why it's so tall, so imposing, so impossibly steep. Personal touch by the Emperor. Very devilishly clever, I'll give him that. What a cruel joke. The sun will rise and set by the time we reach the top. I don't look forward to listening to your jabber the whole climb either. Is that a sense of humor I detect? You're funny. I never climb. I have wings, see? That means I can fly. I'd never stoop so low as to walk the whole thing. That's an endeavor you'll have to manage alone, thank you. I'll see you at the top. You'll have all the time in the world to think of a fantastic story to explain yourself to the guards. If I don't see you by the time the sun sets, I'll make one up myself. Half points off if you make me do anything. I look forward to a magnificent performance. Ta-ta now. The Wanderer's wings unfold with a brilliant flash of green. He braces himself for but an instant before he flits into the fog, leaving behind spiraling flakes of neon dust in his wake. With a deep breath, alone again, I begin my ascent. I am used to strenuous labor. For years I had trained my body to handle significant feats of endurance and strength. I am not naive to the danger of the world even in its dying throes, so this task was nothing I could not shoulder. I had been traveling tirelessly for the last few days after all, so my mind does not focus on my climb, but it does begin to fixate on the stairs. I have to focus on the stairs. The height is getting dizzying otherwise. Even to the untrained eye, these were designed more deliberately, just as the Wanderer said. Though they had been dwarfed by the fortress itself from afar, the stairs seemed to command a certain presence all on their own, yawning and soaring into the thick fog that had set around the foot of the hills, and daring all who ascend into a march towards purgatory. The Emperor certainly has a cruel sense of humor, to make those suffering, yearning for relief, struggle one last time to reach the gates to plead for refuge at their feet. How can I reason with someone like that? What possible reason can I think of that would convince him to surrender one of the interlocking crests to me? Survival. An end to the apocalypse that continued to draw breath and tumult across the east. Anyone can be convinced that an end to the apocalypse is a good thing. No, this is a matter of convincing the Emperor that I will be the one to do it. A sob story will not work. I have to make a show of strength and confidence. No one with power respects anyone who throws themselves upon the ground of their own volition, weeping and pleading. Yet here I am trudging up these stairs, playing right into the hand of the Emperor. I sit down to catch my breath, leaning backwards uncomfortably against the stairs as I stare up at the moonless night sky. But as I lie down, it is as if all the weight of my travels has caught up with me all at once. A deep sigh escapes me before I close my bleary eyes and let the dark wash over me. In fleeting dreams, I see a blistering red sun across the sky. Crowns of mountains stand tall, their jagged formations swirling and encircling a single peak that stands above the rest. Clouds rush past me as my consciousness seems to glide through the air seamlessly, spiraling me into the skies as I peer below at the scene below me. And here we have the reveal, the emotes. So here's where the emotes come in. Several of the emotes are going to come in on this dream that Wuxiang has. 3 silhouetted figures in cloaks are mounted on steeds. They stand before a shining golden gate which somehow gleams more radiantly than the sun that hung in the sky behind it. A ball of light, stands between the four figures. Okay, here's where I think there might be a bit of a typo here. It says there's 3 silhouetted figures in cloaks mounted on steeds, but then it says there's 4 figures. I'm kind of assuming there's 4 figures because of the whole 4 horsemen idea. But anyway, if anyone involved in, if any of the devs want to correct me on that, feel free. But I am a little, like, my first time reading through this, I was a little confused by this, but no matter. He sees silhouetted figures in cloaks on steeds before a shining golden gate, probably the blessed gates or something, I don't know. The gates are brighter than the sun, and there's a ball of light standing between the 4 figures. As they urge their horses to approach, metallic wings flare out from the sides of the gate and sprout into a resplendence of metallic plumage before erupting into flames. Yet the ball of light does not move. It only swirls with ferocity with every step closer. One of the steeds of the 4 rears on its hind legs as the flames roar. That's one of the emotes. Another one of the figures carefully balances a pair of scales in one hand, holding them aloft towards the light. Another emote. Their mouths move, but I cannot hear anything. I squint my eyes, bathed in the rings of light, enveloped in wings upon wings. I can see the faint outline of a figure in the center, cradling an unusually ornate metal circlet in their hands, while letting out a screeching cackle. The ball of light swells. I can see the 3 figures shouting, one trying to urge their steed back, one trying to charge forward, and another just stands motionless. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a 4th horseman riding in far, far too late. Oh, okay, I see. I think I get it now. There were 3 figures, but a 4th one is late. Okay. It happens before I can even draw my next breath. The light flares out, and I see the mounted figures dissolve into smoke and bone as the fires swell to consume them. That's another emote. I think that's the LOL RIP one. The light curls into the air with a certain resplendent brilliance. Had I not carried the stories of the past within me, I would have thought this was the birth of a new god. Bathing in its glory, my mind is blank in awe. Veins of black ink crack and bleed throughout the light, shattering, resounding, and otherworldly evil devours this newborn light. Then it explodes. Smoke rushes to cloud my vision, and I wake, sweating and horrified at the visions I bore witness to in my sleep. But as I wake, I bear witness to a sight even more horrifying. Wakey, wakey. You fell asleep right near the top. I didn't think you'd make it this far. Since it's impossible to underestimate you, but here you are anyway. I hope you're ready to explain yourself to the guards, because I already did a couple of hours ago. The Emperor has entrusted us with the protection of Fort Havershant, the brave, the bold, the mighty Emperor of all things, God King Immortal. O lowly vagrant, state your tale and intention. We will be the gatekeepers who arbitrate your worthiness to enter our holy bastion. We've been standing here for a while now. Can we just get on with your sob story? We haven't got all day. I have sought to find the truth of this world, the true nature of the apocalypse that threatens this world. I can be an asset to your Emperor. I have trained for many years and honed my skills with the spear and with my hands. In the name of the truth, I seek to achieve peace and make this world a sanctum for all. I am strong. I swear to your lord and to this great city that I will not let your people down. We don't need you upstarts in our city. I don't know what that floating thing on your head is, but it looks like bad news. Get out. Go find somewhere else. You don't need to clown around in our city to prove your strength to yourself. If you're so good, you don't need anything from us. The Emperor need not exceed protection to those who can stand on their own. You have postured yourself to be of use, but you speak with the tongue of the snake, seeking to threaten the balance we maintain in this world. Be gone, lowly vagrant. I open my mouth to reply, but before I can speak, the Wanderer's voice grates in my ear, low and slow, yet filled with venom. You just don't listen at all, do you? I spelled out the answers for you. I spoon-fed you a way to get into Fort Havershant, no problem. I told you what the Emperor wants to see. What is it that you don't understand? Am I speaking a different language? The staircase itself is hostile. The guards have a whole script they follow. They want you to show weakness. It's the only way you can get in. Fine. You forced my hand. Give me yours. What? Why? How will this help with anything? Give me your hand. Close it into a fist for me, will you? Don't complain, you've done enough. I do not trust him, but I have no choice. I've already been denied, and he knows more than I do. I hesitantly give him my hand, tightly closed into a fist. And he promptly clocks my hand into his jaw with a sharp crack. Lowly vagrant, we may have turned you away, but this is no excuse to perpetrate violence upon citizens under our protection. Under Ordinance 119 Revision A, you are hereby ordered by the Flaming Guard of Fort Havershant to stand down for arrest. What? I'm being detained? I didn't even hit him. He hit himself with my hand. You all saw that. Oh, the guards, please help. This horrible man struck me. I beg of you mercy. Won't the Emperor strike down this heinous criminal? All right, tough guy, you're coming with us. The Emperor will want to hear of this and see you very personally to exact punishment. Don't try to struggle. It'll only make it harder for you. Wanderer, what is this deception? I told you this place has stupid rules. You were bound to break one of them. I just did it for you. I'll be seeing you around. If you're still alive, good luck. As I let myself get pushed to the ground by the guards, hands being bound behind my back with rope, the Wanderer winks at me and tips his hat. And then with a flap of his wings, it is as if he were never there at all. And that is chapter 4. Oh boy, there's some good stuff in here. Okay, so first of all, well, you know what? It's theorizing time. Okay, so first of all, one thing that I neglected in the previous video was with the reveal of the Wanderer, the Reno, Relentless Pest, and everything. People have pointed out that Reno, his the Reno skin plus his weapons plus the Plague Rat sidekick plus his avatar, it's all very sickness, disease, and pestilence themed. The blasters are called bubonic blasters, and the orb is a skull, memento mori, and the sidekick is a plague rat. So it's so pestilence is very much a theme for this Reno skin, and that's significant because the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the book of Revelations in the New Testament of the Bible, the 4 horsemen represent pestilence, war, famine, and death. Those are the 4 horsemen. And so pestilence is one of them. So it would make sense that 4 of the skins in this battle pass would represent those 4 horsemen, right? The emotes, of course, show some horsemen of the apocalypse vibes, right? A couple of those emotes very much have horses or horse imagery in them. And so I believe we are going to, and I really don't know, but I believe we are going to have 4 skins that will correspond to pestilence, famine, war, and death. And right now we have pestilence, which is Reno. I don't believe Wuxiang is either of them. He is the seeker of truth, so he doesn't really correspond to any of those. It's also possible that we're going to get the Betrayer as a skin as well. Maybe this Emperor as also. I do think that the Emperor of Havershant, of Fort Havershant, is Sir Roland. I really not only for 2 reasons. Well, 3 reasons. Number 1, Havershant. We don't hear about Havershant anywhere else in the lore except for Sir Roland's lore. So, mark my words, I believe Sir Roland will be the Emperor. Whether he'll be a skin or not in this battle pass, I'm not sure. It's very possible because it's possible, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay, and maybe he's also related to war, perhaps, or something, or maybe famine. I don't know. There could be a famine in a lack of food in the fort. Okay, number 2 reason why I think it's Sir Roland. The guards called themselves the Flaming Guard or something like that, right? Consider normal Sir Roland's signatures. he has like a flaming horse move. His Lance Ensig, right? The one where he jumps and like there's a horse that like charges, right? Lin Fei taught him that flaming horse move. So there's I know he so there's very much a sort of like a slight fire imagery to his moves. So that's another reason. And third, there's this sense that the Emperor is very proud of himself, like this proud oaf, essentially, as Reno called him. And Sir Roland, as normal Sir Roland, is very much incredibly proud of himself. Like, you know, he's just like, I am Sir Roland I am Lord Sir Roland Somerset Montgomery, Duke of the Three Isles, Lord of Havershant, champion of the city of Bath, and blah 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 blah. Right? He's a very like I imagine he's a quite proud and conceited, right? And probably vain to some extent. I have seen people suggest that Vrax could be the Emperor, and I see why people say that, because Lord Vrax is a very tyrannical and incredibly egotistical character, but I think there's more evidence there's more clues to suggest I think there's more evidence to suggest Sir Roland than there is for Vrax. But again, Havershant, Flaming Guard, and the boasting is kind of shared a bit between Vrax and Sir Roland, although I think Vrax is worse for that. But yeah, Sir Roland is the Emperor of Fort Havershant. That is my prediction. Okay. Let's see, anything else? Okay, yeah. So that dream that Wu Shang had, I believe Wu Shang had some kind of sort of dream or vision about what actually happened to the four heroes that were supposed to open the blessed gates, right? There's something about like 3 figures and then one came late. One had a metal like emblem or something like that. That might be the interlocking crests, I'm guessing. And they were sort of like cackling to themselves. So that tells me that one of the 4 really was like trying to betray everybody or something. So maybe there is some truth to the story about how one of them actually had like, they were thirsty for power or something like that. I'm not sure. So either Wu Shang saw a dream of like what actually happened, in which case I would call that more of a vision. Like, he saw a glimpse of the truth, or maybe he just saw a dream of that's kind of like what the story is that everybody believes, the story of the end. I think it was probably a little more of a vision because again, he's got that floating emblem, that floating eye emblem, and as the progression skin goes, the eye emblem changes and opens, right? So I believe he's slowly being fed bits of the truth as we go along here. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. It looks like tomorrow, I'm recording this on February 12th, so the next day, Chapter 5 will be the Emperor, so I believe we will actually find out who the Emperor is. We'll get to go inside Fort Havershant because Wu Shang is being arrested. He's going to actually have an audience with the Emperor, so that'll be very exciting. So we'll have that in the next chapter, but it looks like something will something will happen where Wu Shang will have to leave Fort Havershant to go elsewhere, probably go on some quest, because again, we have chapter 6 over here, 7 and 8, and then chapter 9, 10, 11 before we get to chapter 12 up here, right? 12, 13, 14. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is, once again, fantastic. Not only is the writing and the world building just like so engrossing to me, like I'm so enthralled by it, but also they do a very good job of basically like the reveals are integrated very well into the story. I'm guessing that the reveals, the content for the Battle Pass was created before the story was written, because it does feel like the story was written to kind of like bits of the story were written to have things fit into it, right? But, which I mean that's certainly not a bad thing, and this, it's done incredibly well. Like it feels seamless, honestly, because if I didn't know that this was a Battle Pass, I would not have noticed really. But this is probably the Battle Pass Season 8 did a very good job of sort of seamlessly putting in like the stuff from sidekicks and emotes and avatars and weapons and weapon skins and whatever into like, the scientific research logs and everything. And here they're just parts of the world, right? It's brilliant, absolutely amazing and brilliant. So I can't say enough good things about this. Calamari Pop, Taza, Sloshula, all those who like wrote and edited And I know like other artists, like Rachel and others were very much involved in this. I love everything about this, and I look forward to the next chapter. So thank you very much for watching. So yeah, what are your thoughts about what we've got so far? We're not, let's see, there's 14 chapters total. We're still in the first half of everything. So yeah, very excited. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, all the best.